I stared out from the high balcony of the palace in Persepolis. The city sprawled before me, a testament to the glory of the Persian Empire. Yet, a shadow darkened my heart. News had arrived that morning, carried by exhausted riders. A vast army was gathering on the eastern border. They were led by Cyrus, the ambitious ruler of a rival kingdom. War was coming.
Arash was young, barely a man, yet the weight of the world seemed to rest on his shoulders. His father, the Shahanshah, was old and losing his grip on power. The responsibility for their people fell on Arash. He could feel the gaze of his advisors, their faces etched with worry.
That night, sleep eluded me. I paced my chamber, the weight of the impending war heavy on my mind. Desperation gnawed at me. I needed guidance, wisdom beyond my years. I would seek out the oracle. I would plead for her guidance, for a glimpse into the future, for any advantage in the coming conflict. I was a prince of Persia, and the fate of my people rested on my shoulders. With the first light of dawn, I assembled a small group of my most trusted guards. They were men who had served my family for generations, their loyalty beyond question. I told them of my plan, my voice firm despite the tremor in my heart. I would not burden them with my fears. I would face the oracle, and whatever fate awaited, with courage.
The journey was arduous. They rode for days, their horses laboring as they ascended the slopes of Mount Damavand. The air grew thin and cold. Snow capped the peaks, gleaming like white fire in the sunlight. As they climbed higher, the landscape grew increasingly desolate. Gone were the lush forests and fertile plains of Persia. Here, only rock and ice prevailed.
Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we reached a plateau. In the center stood a cave, its entrance shrouded in mist. This was the oracle's sanctuary, a place of power and mystery.
The oracle was an old woman, her face a roadmap of wrinkles, but her eyes, Arash noticed, were bright and piercing. They seemed to see right through him, into the depths of his soul. He knelt before her, his heart pounding in his chest. He had so many questions, so many fears. But before he could speak, the oracle raised a hand, silencing him.
I know why you have come, Prince Arash. You seek guidance in this time of war. You wish to know the future, to see the path that lies ahead.
Arash nodded, unable to speak. The oracle's gaze seemed to bore into him, reading his every thought, his every doubt. A shiver ran down his spine. This woman was no charlatan. She possessed a power that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying.
The future is not fixed, young prince. It is a river, ever-changing, ever-flowing. But I can show you the currents, the eddies that lie ahead. Are you prepared for what I might reveal?
Tell me, I must know.
Beware, Prince Arash, for there is a traitor in your midst. One of your closest allies plots against you. They seek to seize the throne, to plunge Persia into chaos.
Arash returned to Persepolis a changed man. Gone was the youthful prince, eager to prove himself. In his place was a ruler burdened with knowledge, haunted by the oracle's prophecy.
He looked upon his advisors, his generals, even his own family with suspicion. Who among them was the traitor? Who would betray him, betray their kingdom, for personal gain? The weight of leadership pressed down upon him with crushing force.
He withdrew into himself, becoming distant and brooding. His advisors whispered among themselves, concerned by the change in their young prince. But Arash could not confide in them, not yet, not until he knew who he could trust.
Days turned into weeks, and still Arash kept the oracle's prophecy to himself. The weight of it grew heavier with each passing day, threatening to crush him. He knew he could not bear the burden alone any longer. He needed to act, but how? He could not simply accuse someone without proof. To do so would be to risk tearing his kingdom apart.
Then, an idea began to form in his mind. A dangerous gamble, but one that might just expose the traitor and unite his people against their true enemy, Cyrus. He summoned his advisors, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "The time has come," he announced, "to confront Cyrus on the battlefield. We will ride east and meet him head-on."
His advisors were taken aback. They had expected him to remain on the defensive, to fortify their borders and wait for Cyrus to make the first move. But Arash could see the flicker of ambition in his uncle's eyes, the subtle nod of agreement from his cousin. He knew he was right.
As the army marched east, Arash set his plan in motion. He leaked false information, feeding his uncle and cousin's ambition, creating the illusion of division within his ranks.